Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. So I'd planned on making this video about a subset that I've very recently completed, which is ridiculously rare. Arguably the rarest subset I own, so rare, I don't know if anybody else has it, and I'm not even entirely sure it's legal. However, we are going to get to that later in the video, because I recently took a break with the family, and whilst I was away, of course, I did a little bit of game hunting, and I completed 2 more subsets. Okay, so I'm away for a relaxing day with the family in Ellesmere, I think, but there's only so many ducks I can look at before I want to go on a game hunt, so I had a quick look on Google, and the closest CEX has brought me to Wales. I think I'm in Wrexham, actually. So yeah, when in Rome and all that, let's go and take a look at a Welsh CEX. Unbelievable. I've just found another bit of cardboard that I need. I've only just walked in this shop. I'm very, very happy. I'm going to drive up to Wales more often. 2 pieces of cardboard that I've been after. 2 subsets completed. Yeah, man. So I've got to give a huge shout out to Wrexham CEX. So 1 CEX, 3 games, 2 subsets completed. Yeah, that doesn't happen very often at all. So the first game I'm going to show you isn't one of the subsets. I just might as well show it you because I picked it up on this trip and because it's interesting, or at least I think it is. And that is The Division. So The Division is a Ubisoft developed third-person online-only shooter. Not really my cup of tea. I remember playing The Division 2. I think that was a 2019 release when that first came out. But as I say, not really my thing. I'm not really an online shooter kind of guy. But in all my years of hunting CEX, whilst this is a very common game and it's only £2, I never remember seeing this. So this is the lenticular sleeve. Yeah, let me know if you've ever seen this, because I had a quick look on Google. Couldn't find anything on eBay for sale or sold listings. So yeah, maybe my detective skills aren't up to much, because you'd think this would be quite common, but I just can't seemingly find anything out about this. So if this is more common than I know, or you know anything about this one, give me a shout. I also thought it was a bit odd that it says, as you'd expect, the game name on the side, but then this one's completely blank. That's not something you see very often. So yeah, don't know much about this one at all. The game itself just seems like the normal copy, but yeah, I thought it was a bit interesting, so I grabbed it. It was £2. What are you going to do? Right, okay, so let's get into what we actually came here for, subset completions. So this first one was something that I've been actively trying to find. So I was very, very happy to see this on the shelves at CEX. And it's the first of 3 subsets that we're going to be completing on the video today, and that is Assassin's Creed Mirage. So this offering of Ubisoft's action-adventure series was released in 2023 and is set in the 9th century Baghdad during the Islamic Golden Age, in particular during the Anarchy at Samarra. You play as a street thief who joins the Hidden Ones to fight for peace and liberty against the Order of the Ancients. And This is one of them ones that completely passed me by. There was a period in time where Assassin's Creed games were coming out at such a frenetic pace that I couldn't keep up, and to be honest, I had no real interest. That only changed at the turn of this year. If you've been watching the channel, you will know I recently started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, loved it, put 100 hours into it, platinumed it, and really opened my eyes to what the franchise could offer that I've been missing out on. So yeah, it sort of like made me take another look at games like Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, from the limited information that I have on this game and speaking to friends that love the series, this is a little bit more akin to the earlier games. It's less open world. I think it's a lot smaller in scope than both Origins and Odyssey were. But yeah, very interesting one. Let me know in the comment section if you've played Mirage and whether this is one that I should put some time into. But this isn't the subset complete. This isn't the reason I bought this game. This is the reason I bought this game. So yeah, this was sat on the shelves at CEX in absolutely beautiful condition. And that is just this big box cardboard version of it. And speaking of Origins and Odyssey, I already had these. So I now have all three of the big cardboard editions that came out on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, very, very nice. All got stunning artwork. The Mirage one comes with a Baghdad map and 3 lithographs. But yeah, since I sort of fell in love with Odyssey, I went down another cardboard rabbit hole. I already actually had Origins, so you know, like, I had to add the other one, right? The only thing that really surprised me about this one was it was £22. I was surprised by how expensive it was. Assassin's Creed games and Ubisoft games generally tend to go through the floor in terms of value very shortly after launch, so the fact that a couple of years later that one's still £22 was interesting to me. But yeah, subset number 1 completed. And that takes me on to my favourite find of the trip, and that is, on the PlayStation 4, LEGO Worlds. This one's a 2017 Traveller's Tales developed LEGO themed sandbox game. It allows you to build LEGO constructions in a 3D procedurally generated world, and you can sort of unlock currency and then different bricks as you progress through the game. Think of it as a LEGO Minecraft. That might be a lazy YouTuber way of just slapping an easy title on this, but it certainly is what it reads like to me. I haven't put any time into this game, so I can't really tell you, but I think LEGO Minecraft-ish is a good enough explanation to give you an idea as to what this game is about. But as I stand here, fiddling around off camera, you already know what's coming. This is why I picked it up. So this was the final sleeve that I needed. And again, really nice condition. So there's a theme of Wrexham CEX, right? All this cardboard I'm finding is in as good condition as you could ever wish to find on a shelf at CEX. And, like I say, subset number 2 completed. So, the LEGO sleeve subset on the PlayStation 4. Some of these, as you'll be seeing, I've got on the Xbox One, but I'm going to switch them out at some point. I want them all on the PlayStation 4. There's 11 to collect. So this is my 11th one. And I've got to say, if you're relatively new to collecting, or you're wanting to get into a subset, or you've got a very low budget when it comes to collecting, look no further than this. These are absolutely... I can't recommend collecting these things enough. They're fun. I'm sure all the games are fun. If you've got children, you can play them with the kids. They're affordable. I mean, yeah, this one was £5. I don't think any of them are over £10 to my knowledge. They're attainable in person. You don't have to do it online. You can get the fun of finding these. The vast majority of these I found in store. The odd remaining game store that's still about, CEX, you will complete this set with a little bit of patience in person should you wish to do that. And also, like I say, just great value. Not only are they not expensive to buy, but they also keep their value. These games, like, for £5, that's not going to ever be... Unless I break them all. Unless you damage them all, they're never really going to be much less than that. Most LEGO games, even if you look at like things like the Wii, they retain their value quite well. So, yeah, I can't recommend this set enough. And look how great they look. They look absolutely fantastic on the shelf. I'm going to try and create a space. I've got an idea in mind as to where I'm going to open a little shelf up for these here in the 3.0. But yeah, get on it, guys, because right now they're going good. They're cheap. They're plentiful. I don't know if they're going to be that way forever. So if you like the look of them, get involved. And once again, massive shout out to the Wrexham CEX. I can't remember coming away from CEX with such a plentiful and random bounty from the shelves. So yeah, very, very happy with that. But it's now time for the big one, and let's go and get comfy. Right, okay, that is better. You have to excuse the mess. If you've been watching, then you'll know I'm currently doing big changes here in the games room, and yeah, it's still very much a work in progress. But onto the subject matter at hand, and I recently made a video about the Enyak sleeves, which, if you don't know, is a numbered run of 10 sleeves released only in a Slovakian game shop called PlayGo Smart. And these were designed by an artist called Enyak. Absolutely phenomenal artwork. Very rare and never available online, only through specific Slovakian stores on specific dates. So yeah, not something that's very easy to get a hold of at all. And I'll quickly go through the numbered run of 10 that came out. So there's Cyberpunk, arguably my favourite. Ghost of Tsushima, look at that. Resident Evil Village. The Last of Us. Spider-Man. Horizon Forbidden West. Mafia. Ratchet and Clank. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Crash Bandicoot 4. Now, I showed you guys on that video that when you put these together, they all connect. So the backs of these actually connect into one larger picture. However, I did it incorrectly. I did them all, sort of like all 10 of them together. But the way to get the correct picture is to put 5 on the top, 5 on the bottom. So you'll be seeing on screen now how they should look. And it's actually a view of the PlayGo Smart headquarters from Enyak's perspective, of course. Now, I got very fortunate and I picked up this as an entire set from somebody that was actually based in the UK. Now, I did have to pay quite a lot of money for these, but for me, well worth it just to have such beautiful pieces of art. Now, I did mention on that initial video that there has since been 6 more releases. So outside of the number 10 set, there's been 6 more since come out, and these are a lot more difficult to find. There wasn't seemingly anybody out there that had a set of them or was selling them all. There are drips and drabs. There's like 1 or 2 here and there available on eBay at a very high price individually, all except for one, which we can't find anywhere, but we're going to get to that a little bit later on in the video. So I'd kind of accepted that I probably wasn't going to get them all, but I will just pick up the odd one here and there and then show you guys on subsequent vlogs as and when they arrive. Until PlayGo Smart themselves reached out to me. They'd seen the video, they thanked me for highlighting them and their store, and they said they were going to send me a package. Now, that was pretty much all I knew. Then a week went by, another week went by. I actually messaged them via Instagram and asked for tracking, and they didn't have any tracking information for me or any information on the postage. So I'd kind of come to terms with the fact that, okay, maybe it's not going to arrive, and I didn't even know what was due to arrive. I didn't know if they were sending me one game or more than one, or the actual games themselves, or just the sleeves. I didn't have a clue. And then this arrived. So, yeah, this, I mean, firstly, huge thanks to them, of course. I can't thank them enough. And if I ever find myself in Slovakia, I will definitely be going there and making a video on the PlayGo Smart store, that's for sure. But it was just sent in a paper envelope, but somehow they came from the other side of Europe, untarnished. And yeah, let's get into these then, shall we? So the first one that we have here is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, one of the first things to point out is that these ones don't have designs on the back like the first run of 10 did. And there's also different markings on the spine art, which we'll get to. These are like what they would call in the toy world, not unpunched, but these are mint. They're brand new. They've never been unfolded, but obviously I will unfold these as and when I add the games, and then I can display them all together. But yeah, so that's the first one. This one was one that was much anticipated by myself, and that is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Really beautiful artwork. This one does actually have artwork on the back, so a continuation of that oriental design. Look at that, just absolutely stunning. Now, don't be put off if you do manage to get one of these by this one. This one is very flimsy. And when I first got it, I was like, this one feels really odd compared to the others, which are a lot more sort of like sturdy. But I asked a couple of other people that I've since managed to get this one, and it does just seem to be that that's the case for all Assassin's Creed Shadow sleeves. For some reason, they're a lot more flimsy than the others. So that's that one. And then we get to this one. Now, this one's obviously going to be a hit with a lot of people. And that is Elden Ring Shadow of Erdtree. Look at that. Again, not much on the back, but just stunning. I absolutely love the artwork of Enyak. I really do. And then we've got this one. Not a release that I would have guessed would be coming out via this method, but yeah, that is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. another one which I'm sure will be popular with people, and that is Silent Hill 2. So that is 5 of the elusive 6. And as I say, I didn't think this one would be coming, but needless to say, it's in here. I'll show you, and then we're going to get into sort of like the backstory with this one. This is the only copy, or not, do we call it a game? Do we call it a copy if it's not a game? The only sleeve I know of in existence outside of the original promotional shots. I don't know anybody that has this. I don't know if it's available. Let me know if you've got this. Please get in touch. But that is Stella Blade. Again, very nice artwork. Nothing on the back. So Stella Blade's a 2024 action-adventure game developed by a South Korean developer known as Shift Up. Very critically acclaimed game, but as you guys will know, I bought this one for the sleeve. Now, I've asked many collectors about this, and nobody else that I know of can find much information out about it. There's nothing online for this one, if you do like a Google image search or anything like that, besides from the original promotional image of this that was shared by Enyak himself, I believe, on his Instagram. All the others you can find images of online, and if you look hard enough you might be able to find most of them for sale on some random eBay listing, whether here or in Europe, for quite a high price. Not this one. Now there is some speculation. Now I would like to say that everything I'm about to go into is not definitive fact. This is probably what we call an estimate, more so than I'd say a best guess, but I've been speaking to a lot of high-end collectors about this. There's been quite a lot of investigative work by myself and other Ghetto gang members on the Discord that are collecting them. And we've basically come up with the best guess that this was pulled because of a licensing issue. Now, the reason I say that is that the initial promotional image of this that was shared contained the PlayStation 5 logo on here. As you can see, the one that's in my hand doesn't have the PlayStation 5 logo on. Interestingly, the original image of The Last of Us that was shared had the PlayStation 5 logo as well. That was seemingly changed to the PlayStation 4 logo when these actually came out. So I don't know if there's some sort of legal thing with Sony or PlayStation. Again, none of this is definitive fact, I just want to confirm that. But it does seem as if there was some sort of issue in and around the PlayStation 5, because that one was shown to have it, now it doesn't have it. This one originally had it, now it has PlayStation 4. Now it could be argued that because this is one of the full initial run of 10, they were more on it, if you like, to get it changed. So we went from PlayStation 5 to PlayStation 4 because it had to be in line with the set. Some of these don't say PlayStation 4, they just have the PlayStation logo on. Again, you can sort of make up your own minds as to why. But another interesting thing that we managed to find out about Stella Blade is that all the other games, when they were announced as pre-orders by PlayGo Smart, this was like a pre-order bonus, so it was a way of selling games, and a great way of selling games. These fantastic sleeves, if I was in Slovakia, I'd be pre-ordering them. Except for Stella Blade. You'll be seeing now there's a screenshot from that launch that we managed to find, and it's just the game. There's nothing about pre-order bonus, nothing about the sleeve, nothing about the Enyak sleeve whatsoever. And that's the only one of these where that is the case. All speculation, of course, but what I do know is that thanks to PlayGo Smart, I own this, and it's very, very rare. I'm very happy to have it. It's in good hands. Just to have the full Enyak set, so all 16 to date. I don't know if there's going to be any more, but to have all 16, arguably like my favourite subset that I own, one that I'm most proud of, because for me, I've always thought the lines were blurred between video games and art, and never more so with a set like this. So an artist that puts so much love into these, and I've actually spoke with him via email back and forwards, and I know his passion for gaming, and that shows in these. And yeah, to have them all I need to do now is get this room locked in so I can find a real definitive way to display all 16 of these, because they're absolutely phenomenal. But if you do have any more information, let me know. I also managed to speak to like a previous, I think he was a marketing executive for PlayGo Smart, but he stopped working there before this kind of thing happened, so he couldn't give me any further information. But believe me, I've tried. We've uncovered a lot of things, and we've looked under a lot of stones to try and get more information about this. So if you have this, or you have any information on this, let me know. But at present, there's seemingly this one, an original promotional shot shared by Enyak himself. That's it. That's all the internet sleuth out there can uncover. But like I say, for me, all that rarity and stuff aside, just absolutely delighted to own them. And just to make you guys aware, there are more sleeves courtesy of PlayGo Smart. There's a few others. There's like a Hogwarts Legacy and a couple of others that aren't Enyak. Still nice sleeves, not something I'm going to go into, but if you do find any others, just be aware they might not be Enyak ones. So if you're only going for the Enyak set, don't be fooled by those additional ones. But yeah, what can I say? Fantastic trip out with the family that led to a couple of subsets completed. And then to come home to this, full of these. Just been a fantastic few days. I had to share it with you guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the full sets. Are you going to be pursuing the Lego set, or are you going to go for something a little bit more difficult to attain? But guys, as always, thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Very much appreciated. Play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. But yeah, man, nice little trip.
Lock into the retro ghetto. Come and have a look around the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples settle. Lock into the retro ghetto.